Hello, America. It's Mr. Patriot. As you know, I love our veterans and care about our veterans and appreciate our veterans. And I'm going to be bringing you some veterans to share their views and their life with them. And I have a veteran with me right now, a very beautiful woman. Her name is Robin Obanon, and she was in the United States Air Force. Oh, and one other thing. Homegirl can sing. You'll see. All right, come on in. Let's talk with Robin Obanon. Robin, hi.
Mr. Patriot.
Nice to meet you, Robin.
Pleasure's mine.
I just want you to know how much I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to share with me and our folks in America about who you are and your journey in the United States military. So, first of all, where are you from, Robin?
Originally,
Yes, ma'am.
from Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago.
West Side, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Originally.
That's Hawkland, I call it. Oh man, it's so doggone cold. Like, you couldn't pay me to live in Chicago. That's just me, though. I don't
That's
mean
the lake effect. It has an effect on a lot of people.
Yeah, Hawk, come scream up that lake. Yeah, rip your face off and everything. Well, anyway, we digress. But so you're from Chicago. Where were you actually brought up? Tell me the journey into your adulthood.
Okay. I was born in Chicago, and my parents divorced when I was very, very young, like 10 months old.
Oh.
So my mom was a single mom of 8, actually, for years.
8.
8.
And which one are you?
I am the last. I'm the last button on Joe's
Did
coat.
they spoil you? How
No,
was
they
it? How
beat-
was
they
it?
beat me up
Did they
a
beat
lot.
you up? Is that why you joined the Air
That
Force?
is why I could defend others where I was not defended. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you know about bullying and all that old
I
kind
know
of
a great
mess,
deal
and you
about
know what it
bullying.
does to people's psyche.
I
and-
do.
Especially when
I
it's come
do.
from someone close,
Absolutely.
family,
Yeah.
siblings.
Well, when you're young, you don't know any different. You just, I gotta hide. It's just the needs are very basic. So.
Wow.
But after that, my closest sibling is 8 years older than I am.
Wow.
So when it came time for Mom when she got married, she married a man from New Jersey who had moved to Florida. They met on a cruise. Very
okay.
romantic, yeah.
Okay, sure.
And he said, Virginia, I love you,
Wow.
but I do not love Chicago and snow.
He's like me.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, are we going to do this thing, or are we going to get back to, are we going to, and do this thing in Florida?
Right.
Or, are we done? And she's like, yeah, I'll go to Florida.
Wow.
So since I was the last one.
What part of Florida did you go to?
Tampa.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, back when the Buccaneers were babies.
Wow.
So
Now, how old were you then?
I was 8. I had
So
just
you can
turned
remember.
8.
So you can remember the weather change.
Oh man, can I?
Wow.
Of course, the year that we got there was the first time it actually snowed in Florida. in
Get
many
out of
years.
here! The hawk followed you.
Light dusting. The
But
people
still,
about lost their minds.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember when it snowed in L.A. a few years ago. People were like, wow.
Can't
freaked out.
drive, schools closing.
Yeah.
Carrying on.
Accidents.
Right.
We digress.
Again.
Go again.
So we relocated to Florida, and I was there until I was 18 years old.
Wow. So you had some good memories of Florida.
I
then.
really
mean, clear
did.
memories of
Very
Florida.
clear, and Chicago not so unclear, but very much so.
Well, tell me, you obviously, you're a black woman, you Chicago, till 8 years old. Do you remember any racial tensions in Chicago around your neighborhood at that time?
No,
when you were a child?
I lived in it's an all black neighborhood, and everybody had beautiful homes and manicured lawns, and if anybody
middle class,
yes, yeah,
type of neighborhood.
yeah, exactly.
Something that most of us don't recognize.
And to tell you the truth, it really wasn't as much middle class as it was all different classes.
Oh,
middle
okay.
class was probably the higher end of the spectrum.
Okay.
But the other end of the spectrum, but we all looked after each other, so it really didn't matter to us.
It was like extended family.
It was. That's exactly
no one
what
was
it
jealous
was.
of each other and all
That's
that
right.
old madness. So there
That's
was
right.
no white racial thing.
No.
Had you heard about it, any of that, in the news, or your family talk about it at all, or?
When I was in school, and it was an all black school, Saul R. Crown Elementary.
Oh, there you go.
And then I think the middle school was on the second floor. I remember I had a first grade teacher, and she was white.
Okay.
And her husband, who taught upstairs, he was too. So was Mr. and Mrs. Heller.
Wow.
I noticed, I don't think I cared.
Okay.
I don't think I cared.
Okay.
You know, and
how about the other students?
No,
you ever guys ever say anything about that?
No, nobody cared.
This was what it was.
You know, students were crushing on Mr. Heller like they crush on gym teacher.
Stop it.
Nobody cared.
Good. Okay.
And it was kind of a.
All right. So now you go to Florida, Tampa,
but
Florida.
we did have ML King. We used to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday.
Oh.
But it was never in the context of madness. It was
or anger.
No, none
white
of
man
that.
did this to us and all that kind of.
None of that
This is who he
stuff.
was. This is what he did.
What a beautiful legacy he left. It was amazing. We'd have assemblies and all of that stuff. We'd sing the national or the Black national anthem.
Oh, you sing that too? You sing both of them?
Yeah.
Can you sing that song?
I need the lyrics with me. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
but
it's a
I
hard
could sing
song.
that song.
That's harder
It's
than
a
the national
gorgeous
anthem
song.
to sing, though. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Because all those different. I don't know if brother who wrote that was trying to throw us off.
Well, it was very choir, very choir.
No
you know.
kidding.
And but it was a beautiful song, and the purity of the love that came from that song. That's what we felt at school, and in our neighborhood. And if anybody in our neighborhood ever tried to act thuggish,
y'all thugged them out.
Well, my mother, you know, her name was Miss Baldwin at the time, you know, and so they would, you know, run up trying to take her dry cleaning out of her car. She'd turn around and realize it was her. And she'd be like, they'd be like, "Oh, Miss Baldwin, you know, we're sorry, Miss Baldwin. Please don't call my mama." You know, of course, she called their parents before they get home.
Oh boy!
So that's how we kind of looked after each other, and you know.
Now, what? Give me the years of this.
This was I was born in 68.
Okay.
And we left in 76. So it was, early, mid-70s.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Did you do Black History Month?
No, there wasn't Black History Month. No, but
that's right, because it wasn't around. Was it around at that time?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
But Dr. King, I mean, we celebrated him.
Yeah, but it wasn't a holiday at that time.
We celebrated the contributions of individuals and did so very intellectually. It was a beautiful thing, and you know, and we also honored our own heritage, because a lot of us came from Mississippi, Louisiana way.
That's right.
And,
Chicago. That is true. A lot of people
migration.
from that. The migration, of course.
My mother was from rural Mississippi, and
you know, I have relatives in Chicago. Come to think of it, my mother's sister was from Chicago. I remember she came to visit us in the '60s, and she looked just like my mama. Yeah. Amazing. But anyway, I'm sorry, I digress. But go ahead.
But yeah, absolutely. But when we honored our heritage, we honored the contributions of those that came before us. We all spoke the way I speak on the west side of Chicago.
Yeah.
Not a white person in sight. So to hear in other areas of the country that, oh, that's white, or you're trying to be white, we're like, no, we're just being who we are. You know, this is Chicago.
And we have a tendency, for some reason, our people have been allowed to, or have been pushed or directed into being a monotheistic people based on our appearance, our skin color, and therefore we are all alike. And when we're not all
there's
alike,
so much more to us than that.
Absolutely.
Any
we're
label.
complex.
I have so many labels. It's not even funny, whether it's veteran or you know, black woman, and none of the labels ever come close to defining who I am.
Exactly. Okay, so you moved to Tampa, Florida.
I did.
Okay, all the way till you were 18 years old.
Yes.
Now, did you notice racial tension in Tampa?
I did.
Did you run across that? What did you run across?
I did.
Was it from white people on blacks, or was it black on black, or black on white, or was it just all that stuff?
My initial experience was black on black.
Okay, tell me about that.
I'll never forget. It was like it was yesterday. I can forget what I had for breakfast this morning, but I can't forget this.
Is that right?
I was going into second grade, and I was being tested. You know, what grade was I going to be in, and
academically tested.
Academically tested, and I guess there was another test too.
Yeah, that's what I was for.
Right, and so my education, Chicago, all black schools, whatever, said that I should probably skip a grade, and but my mom didn't want me to skip a grade, so no, just leave her where she's supposed to be in second grade. So my first day of second grade, and I meet this, who I think was probably one of the most gorgeous people I'd ever seen. Her name was Priscilla.
Okay. And
Priscilla walked up to me. She had a little TWA, skin dark, like satin, you know. And she walked up to me, and I was, "How you doing?" You know, Miss Friendly. And she looked at me like there was a third eye in the middle of my head, and I didn't know children could see chakras. I'm just kidding. So anyway, and she said, she looked at me like, "Why are you talking to me?" And so I thought she didn't hear me I mean, because I realize that now, but then I just thought she didn't hear me. You know, how you doing? And she said, you know, why are you trying to be white? And I didn't understand the question at the time.
I guess so. Yeah, of course.
And she said, I said, what are you talking about? And it had to do with the way I spoke.
You spoke proper diction.
And that's what she said. Why are you trying to be proper?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to be white?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I had no frame of reference for this conversation.
Were like confused you. So what happened?
And there were a lot of
others that started that out with you.
So
you were picked on.
Yeah. Because of the way I spoke.
Because of the way you spoke. And how did you feel?
And I found a friend in everyone. You know, whether it was the Japanese girl Rumiko who was sitting across from me at the table, or my Jewish friend Tracy, or whatever. These labels didn't exist to me. But somehow I was wrong for being this way.
But it existed in Tampa. The environment that you came from was not what you experienced in Tampa. So that was a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Now, did you run into racial confrontation at all when you were in Tampa at that time?
You mean with other races?
Yeah, white or whatever.
Well, there was this one boy. His name was Kevin. And Kevin, he was what we call these days, we call it ginger, just cute. You know, the shocker red hair and the freckles and everything. And he learned, I'm sure whatever he learned from his parents, right. You know, or at home.
Right.
And so what had happened was we were walking home from the bus one day. This was in the 6th grade, so it took all this time to experience this. So he started calling me names, you know, Oreo,
like what,
cream in the coffee,
really?
You know, the N-word, what they call the N-word now, right, all of that. And I'm like, where did this come from? Because don't we fish off the same pier with each other, you know? And so I guess he's trying this stuff out. And I didn't, you know, budge or anything like that. Then he said something about my mama.
Uh-oh.
You can say whatever you want about me, but don't say nothing about my mama.
I know, ain't that something?
And my mother used to dress me in knee socks and loafers and little Polly Flanders dresses, and I hated that. Yeah, okay. But I was a tomboy, so. Yeah. But by the time I got home, I had grass stains up the front of my knee socks, and my ponytails were all, you know, cattywampus and everything. And she said, "What happened?" And I wouldn't say anything, and then she said, "Did he deserve it?" Because she knows me.
Yeah, what was up? Did he deserve it?
It took 3 boys
Obviously
to pull me off of him.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because the whole, I guess maybe my identity was kind of secure at that point. The whole, you know, calling me the N-word, Oreo cream in the coffee. I was used to that because black people had been calling me that.
Yeah.
So, but
the mama
they never
thing.
Talked about my mama.
The mama thing. Yeah.
So,
the mama thing.
so I guess you could say that. I mean, it was racial in nature toward me, but
Right.
Right.
Okay.
You know?
Now, you're 18 years old.
Yes.
And you're going into the United States military?
Yes. I enlisted in the Air Force on October 19th, 1987.
And why did you do that?
Well, initially, it was... Well, you don't have enough time, but my father, my stepfather, who'd adopted me, a white man adopted me. So you can't say nothing bad about him either. No. And he was in the Navy. He was in World War II as a CB, and he would share his war stories with me. The beaches of Japan, all of that
like
stuff.
Like my daddy, he used to tell war stories to me. You know.
And that kind of, what happened was, I saw the kind of man that he was. And I'm not saying I wanted to be a man, but I wanted like those qualities
that the military had instilled in him.
Yeah, he was not a man that was full of bravado.
Right. Yeah. Quiet but strong.
Yes.
Resolute.
And when he spoke, people listened because he wasn't talking all the time.
Right.
So I want to be like that.
Good. So you joined the Air Force. What year was that, 87?
1987.
Okay, and when you got there, was it what you thought it was going to be? Or were you disappointed? Or did you like it? Or and how long did you stay in? All these questions fired at you.
When I went to basic training, it was like being at home because my mother was she was like a drill sergeant.
So that was a cakewalk.
Nobody could make a bed like me, honey. No.
Wow.
And,
so that must have been impressive to your drill sergeant that you was.
Yes. Those things were. There was enough to be picked on about, but you know, they try to, you know, break you down and build you up.
Sure,
you know.
Sure.
But you know, once everybody's in the same uniform, that is what appealed to me most.
Really? Why would that appeal? Some people say, man, you lose your identity. You lose your personal flair when you're uniform. Everybody else.
That's what people say.
Yeah.
That has not been my experience.
No.
In basic training, sure, you lose
You were not
your,
hiding now
yeah.
in all that uniformity with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're all focused on the same mission, which is to graduate from basic training alive. Yeah. So, because for most
I thought from war alive, from basic training alive.
Yeah, well,
I can hear you.
Well,
Sure.
because when you're really in the reality of it,
Yeah.
you find that you need each other. Mm-hmm. And if you divide yourselves based on things that are really don't matter,
petty things.
Yeah, you
like
hurt
skin
yourself.
color or sex or accent or where you're from.
Exactly. And we're from everywhere.
Everywhere
in the military. And in the Air Force, you only go to one place. Everybody goes to basic training in the same place. So whether you are from the Ukraine doing a 4-year enlistment and hoping it'll help with your citizenship, or you are from the Hamptons, it doesn't matter. Everybody comes from everywhere to go to basic training in San Antonio, Texas.
Now, by the way, from there, is that where people go then to Colorado to be officers, or does everybody go through that, or do officers go through another training?
Only the enlisted people go through
Gotcha.
Lackland initially.
Okay.
Officer training can occur at so many different levels. It's complex, simple, but
What was your role? 5 minutes. What was your role
What was my role?
in the military?
Oh, I was enlisted.
Okay.
I retired as a technical sergeant at 18 years because of my
You
health.
were in for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I would have been in longer, but I got really sick. Issues that are believed to come from my service in the Persian Gulf War. But I wouldn't change anything. Everybody's got a cross to bear. So,
Yeah. Well,
but I started off in the dental field, and I soon was able to do other things that were more along the line of my passion. So I was able to serve in the honor guard. I was able to play in the drum and bugle corps in
What did you
basic
play?
training. I was a drummer.
get out of here. You got that rhythm, don't you? That's great.
I do. I've been
You
a drummer
do.
since 7th grade. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
You something.
Yeah, and
Great.
then I was able to be a leadership and management instructor, and that's where I began to discover my purpose. It spoke to my heart to be able to develop others to their fullest potential, and it's kind of the same thing I'm doing now.
Yeah, I understand that you are a life coach.
I am now. I'm a life coach now. Yeah.
And do you and you attribute that life coach experience you now have to your military? Kind of opened that up to you.
I attribute that light being flipped on
Yeah.
to the military. There are just times when you cross a threshold into a classroom and you get to serve students, and the whole world is all right.
So would it be safe to say then that when people go to the military, that if they go with the right attitude, the military puts them in a discipline to where their mind can discover who they are.
Who
and
they
helps
really
them to do
are.
that.
That's
Is
right.
that one of the?
That's right. And that's why the uniform doesn't make us all the same. There's nothing that can possibly, there's no external force that could possibly make us all the same.
Wow. You went to Iraq, you said?
I went to Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, rather.
In
to
support
the
of
Gulf, the first Gulf War, 90, when was that?
90, 91.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then liked it so much I went back for a shorter
No, you
deployment later.
didn't?
I did.
Why'd you like that?
Because
I mean, you were in danger potentially, because I do remember there was a National Guard group from Pennsylvania, I think it was, and Saddam Hussein fired a Scud missile and it hit that tent and killed all those
I
young
was
men
there
and
that
women.
night. Yeah.
Were you there that night?
Yeah, I was there that night. And the casualties came rolling in, and they had only been in country for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and they were not active duty, so they had other lives. Me, I was
Yeah.
active duty, so the military was my life.
Yeah, they came off the jobs and things in Pennsylvania. They were there just to put their time in, like the National Guard.
Yeah.
At the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. And that was one of the very, very few scuds that ever hit its mark. It was a fluke.
It's got to make you wonder.
Yeah. So
you were there. So
yeah.
But there's all this danger around you. There's
Isn't it
that
always?
weather. There's that prejudice against women in that part of the world.
That was interesting. It really was. I have stories that we don't have time
we
for.
we only have another minute and a half, maybe.
Sure.
I really, we spent so much time on the other end just getting to know you.
Right.
I would like to know if you would be willing to come back and we talk more about your military experience in the Gulf War situation, and also about your illness, and also about your life coaching and what you're doing now.
I would love to come back and share that with you.
Yeah, that would be I understand you met that fellow Ted Hayes the other day.
I did.
And he tells me you guys got on pretty good.
Yes, he's definitely a kindred spirit. It's like being able to meet your brother after being separated all
Is that
this
right?
time. It is.
Well, I've been trying to get away from that dude. He drives me nuts.
Different strokes for different folks, baby.
Well, you will come back, right?
I will, I promise.
Thank you so much, Robin Obanon, my sister. Thank you for your service.
The pleasure was mine.
Like this. You know why we shake like that?
Why?
Okay, let's say you were falling off a cliff.
Ah.
Slip. If I got you like that, my sister, you can't slip.
I got you too.
But part two, if you go, because I can't pull you up,
right,
I'm going to go with you.
Shut up.
But here's part three.
When we land? And break your fall? You're so wrong. I'm so... Okay, this is so undignified. I'm sorry.
Stop it. That's funny. Actually, what I was going to say, like, yeah.